Right, debrief April 5th. So this is going to be a look into the events, dates, programming for competitions in the New Zealand CrossFit scene. I'm going to basically be going through all the programming and stuff that we know, the workouts coming out for events that are coming up, and just giving like a shout out to some of the local comps. After that, I'll be going into some details for Taurus Trios. So if you're here for that, then you might just want to skip forward. And then some questions, obviously, for Taurus Trios, and then just a programming overview for Taurus, what we do in our classes and our compete programming, all that kind of stuff. The first event we're going to get into is NZ Champs. So the qualifier workouts for individual have been released. I'm going to pull them up for you. I've got them here. Right. By the way, all the competitions and stuff that I've found have been either just ones I already know, or through Competition Corner. So if you have a competition and I either don't know about it or it's not on Competition Corner, then you won't be on here. If you would like me to talk about it, I can. You just need to let me know. Right. Event 1, workout 1. It is a Part A, Part B. This is for New Zealand Championships online qualifier. First one, we have an AMRAP, 8-minute AMRAP, starting with 6 shuttle runs, there and back being 1 rep, 7.5 meters each way. And then 4 bar facing burpees, 4 clean and jerks. RX weight is 61 and 43 kilos. And the catch is every completed round you add on 2 burpees and 2 clean and jerks. So round 1 will be 4 and 4. Do your shuttles, then 6, 6, do your shuttles, and so on and so forth. Obviously, being the further you get through, the better your score is going to be. Now, this is a Part A and Part B. Part B is establish a 1 rep max clean and jerk with a time cap of 5 minutes. If you want to find the movement standards and all that kind of stuff, I believe that is available. Look at that, we've got some movement standard links for the clean jerk. Not for the burpee though. I would imagine, though, you know how to do a burpee. If not, then go looking for that. You've got all your scoring information, example of how it works, like I just went through there. It is an ascending ladder, and then look, you got your scorecards through here, which would look like this is your scorecard. Kind of looks like the Open. Obviously, I think it is being built off that because it does have the, it's a licensed event and all that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do is just go through these workouts one by one, my thoughts on it, and maybe like some expectations on what people are going to be getting. So this one here, what I do like is the double use of the clean and jerk. I think if you're going to do a Part A and a Part B, it is good to have like a lighter variation or something that like quote unquote warms you up for the 1RM. So you've got clean and jerks here, and then you're going into a 1RM clean jerk. So you're not just going 0 to 100, right? You're not going from empty bar and then you've got 5 minutes. You're obviously going to just build up from that 61 and 43 kilos from there. The other thing, and it is consistent amongst the other 2 workouts as well, is I like how simple this is. I think a lot of the time comp programmers can get what I call comp ADHD and feel the need to put everything into their workouts. And I think what you find if you try to put everything into your workout is you're trying to test everything, but you actually end up testing nothing. So this is cool. I like the shuttle runs as a little bit of interference. It's certainly not going to be 1 on the shuttle runs, but it can be lost. I.e., if you are just boosting those and then losing time on your burpees and your clean and jerks, then you're not going to get that back, right? It's a fast workout. So managing fatigue and recovery is going to be done on those shuttle runs. And then keeping a consistent pace on the burpees and the clean and jerks. It's eerily familiar to what we did in the Open. Obviously, we didn't have the shuttle runs, but we had the bar facing burpee and some cleans. I would expect this, obviously with the ascending ladder, as rounds are obviously going to get longer and longer, so pace will change. I would go out at a pace, i.e. for the first round, you get 4 reps and 4 reps. I would go out at a pace that you would hold for 10 reps, right? Because then by the time you get to that round of, the 8 and the 10, that pace is going to be consistent and you're not going to be dealing with any sort of burnout. The other thing to remember is you have that part B. So if you send it and get a really, really good score on part A, you can basically negate that score by bombing out on the clean jerk. Like, you've only got 5 minutes. One thing I think is interesting is obviously that first workout, we know what we're testing, right? We're testing a bit of barbell cycling and just general work capacity on the burpees and the shuttle runs. And then the second one you would look at, like, okay, we're testing strength, right? My question would be is why the 5-minute cap? So I think it's like when you're at a comp scenario and you've got, heats and all that kind of stuff to worry about and you don't have all the time in the world, then generally speaking, you have quite a short cap when it comes to like the lifting workouts. In a qualifier, do we need a short cap? I don't. I think it would be interesting if it was a 10-minute cap, to really give the athlete some time to, cool down a little bit and show what they're capable of. Obviously I understand the whole, lifting under fatigue and all that kind of stuff. So again, it comes down to what is the purpose? What are we wanting to test? And you never know, it might reflect what we're going to see at finals. Is this going to happen again? Is the strength test going to be something like this? Or is it going to be a sub-maximal test, where you're doing a 5 rep max, 10 rep max, whatever it may be. So the fitness found in the qualifier is relevant to the finals. However, if that doesn't happen, you get to the finals and it's a 1RM, you get 20 minutes, then, I'd have questions. But I like this workout. It's cool, short, sharp. I know exactly what you're trying to test. Just, a question about that 5-minute cap. Second one, workout 2. So you can follow along. Let's have a look. Workout 2, 3 rounds for time. 30 dumbbell front squats, 20 chest to bar pull-ups, 10 wall walks, 12-minute cap. I really like this workout. Again, it's simple. 3 movements. I love a triplet. And it's all testing different things. Like all the reps are relevant, right? There is nothing that I'm looking at like, okay, that's going to be your rest movement. That's a non-factor. 30 dumbbell front squats, that is rough. I'd say there's not going to be a lot of people going unbroken there, or at least have the plan to and quickly realize that it's a lot harder than what you would think, especially being a dumbbell front squat. With the movement standards, here we go. Athlete must hold 2 dumbbells in the front rack position with the heads of the dumbbells clearly in contact with the shoulders. With the heads of the dumbbells clearly in contact with the shoulders. I would assume both heads. The athlete can squat clean the first rep, however, there's not required to start. Obviously, just hit the movement standards of a squat. The athlete must descend into the full hip crease passes. Yep, normal stuff. The rep is considered complete with the athlete stands to full extension with hips and knees fully extended and the dumbbells under control at the shoulders. Yeah, interesting. There might be follow-up. I can't see anything on here, but there might be on the scorecard. I've just got page 1 here. With that standard, is it one head touching the dumbbell? Can you do if you wind the clock back to 2018 when we did the open and we had the first introduction of the dumbbell front squat, as a lot of people realized you could, hold them like this, and that kind of took the weight off your front rack because it was a lot more balanced, right? Like holding them here or even here is a lot harder than holding them up on the shoulders, right? You do a lot less work. Do you have to maintain contact with the handle? I don't know. Maybe it's all up to interpretation. Maybe it's one of those, if you don't ask, you won't find out type of situations. And it's, whatever you decide to interpret from those movement standards. But that aside, 30 dumbbell front squats is a lot of reps. That's 90 reps in 12 minutes, and then you're going into the chest bar pull-ups and the wall walks. Yeah, so what I like is that I love the movement combination. We've got legs, but with like residual fatigue on the arms, the shoulders, and the lats because of maintaining the front squat. going into the chest to bar pull-ups, which is no legs. However, I think people, especially into round 2, are going to be thoroughly surprised how fatigued their lats are from just holding the dumbbells, right? And maybe even biceps as well, like if you are maintaining a full grip. And then into the wall walks, you've got, shoulders, tricep fatigue, a little bit of chest fatigue as well, and core. So it's like the fatigue moves up the body, then back down, and it's whoever can recover the resting muscle group the best is going to do the best, right? Who can recover their shoulders and their lats during the front squats? Who can recover their legs through the chest to bars and the wall walks? Yeah, I really like this workout. It is a tight time cap, I would say. Well, it's a tight time cap for, the most of the population or people doing this workout. I would say if you're looking at 30 dumbbell front squats, let's say you've got somebody who's really, really good and they're going unbroken through the whole thing, with like clear extension at the top. Let's say it's 2 to 2.5 seconds per rep. So you're looking at 1 minute to 1:15 for those dumbbell front squats. 20 chest to bar pull-ups, let's say they go unbroken, they have a 10-second break in between, 1:25. 20 chest to bar pull-ups, let's say 20 seconds, so you're at 1:35 there. And then the 10 wall walks, I mean, that's going to be the real limiter here, I think. Let's say we have another 10-second transition, there's 1:45. Let's say you're hitting 5 reps every 45 seconds. Again, this is someone who's really good at wall walks. Like, I'd be comparing this to, what the Games athletes James, Dallin, and Jason did. Was it last year or the year before's open workout when we had the row wall walks and then the barbell walks? That one, they were averaging like 5 reps every 25, 30 seconds. So let's say it takes 1.5 minutes for that. You're looking at just over 3.5 minutes for a round, right? Or 3 to 3.5 minutes for a round. So I'd say like a target time would be that 9 to 10 minute mark for those that are wanting to qualify and go for that top heat. I would say we'll see some people get in that 9-minute mark. But yeah, 12 minutes is tough. Like, there is not a lot of time to be putting down those dumbbells or to be having a whole lot of rest. So I'm intrigued to see some scores come out for that. Going to workout 3. Let's change it over. Workout 3. This is another AMRAP, 18-minute caps, or something a little bit longer. 60 or 40 calorie row, 50 box jump overs at 24 and 20 inch, 40 deadlifts, 85 and 56 kilos, 30 toes to bar. One little thing I'm just going to be a little bit pedantic about is this is the NZ, the New Zealand Championships. However, we're using the pound conversions, i.e. on workout 1, 61 and 43 kilos, workout 3 now 85, 56 kilos. I think to make it a lot easier for gyms in New Zealand, because it's the New Zealand Championships, like I wouldn't expect a whole lot of Americans to be doing this workout. I would say make it 85, 55, and then make it 60 and 40, just so that it's easier for gyms. Like there's, I mean, we do, but not a lot of gyms would have, 1 kilo plates, half kilo plates, or enough to have, 5 to 10 people doing it, right? If you're wanting people to do these in their classes. So yeah, I mean, there's no harm in making it just easier for kilos, right? Like you're testing the same thing. Anyway, workout. First thing I really like is the hot out the gate calories on the rowers. Like, I think it's cool to have a workout where the calories on the rower matter. I've seen a lot of workouts in years past where the row is the chance to recover, or like it doesn't really matter. For instance, what I think about is that the open workout with the 300-meter row into the deadlifts, into the double unders, and it was like an AMRAP in the open. The row, like, it was kind of a non-factor. You just held a pace that you could recover to be able to go really, really fast on the rest. This is not, right? 60 calories, if you're holding 1,200 calories an hour for a male, you're going to get that done in 3 minutes. if you hold 1600, you're going to get that done in closer to like the 2.5 or less minute range, right? And that's a lot of time to gain. Whereas if this was 20 calories, like if you had it at the end, at best you're making 5-10 seconds up on people. Like there's no point in pushing it. This makes it matter, right? Like, so those that are good rowers, and then you're going into box jump overs, so like it's not going to fatigue you too badly. If you're a good rower, you need to make the most of this. Then into the box jump overs. Box jump overs are a rough one. I think big time it comes down to your cycle speed. Like that definitely matters. I think we just had a competition over in Hawke's Bay, Evo 2s, and we had some box jump overs in it, and me and my teammate Carl, we were going as fast as we could on this workout. There was no time to be made up. We were going max cycle speed on our box jump overs, and we just couldn't catch two of the teams because their cycle rate on their box jump overs were just so fast. So in terms of training, I think people need to invest a lot of time into speeding up their box jump overs, this person being included there, because they've shown up in this and the NZ Champs, and they showed up in the Open, and they keep showing up. So invest your time in your box jump overs. 50 reps is going to make a hell of a difference. 40 deadlifts, 85 and 56 kilos. Please, thank you. Make it 55 kilos. Better for affiliates. I like that number. I think what the programmer, obviously, I didn't say before, Proven being the programmer here, what they're looking for is maybe 3 sets. Like, I think there are people that could do it in 2 sets, like a 25-15. But to be smart, going into those toes to bars in terms of grip fatigue and then back to the row, maybe like a 20-12-8. I have a gripe against going halfway, doing 20-10-10. I think it's easier to know that you're descending reps. So 20-12-8 would be good for a top strategy. And then the 30 toes to bar. It is an AMRAP, so you're going to go back to that row. Again, a really big plus for those that are good at the row, because you get to show your capacity again. And let's say you get through it, that's 120 calories throughout the whole workout. So if you're a good rower, this is your jam. Generally, those that are good rowers as well are pretty good at deadlifts as well. Anyway, those are our workouts for the NZ Champs online qualifier. Overall, what do I think? I think they're cool. I think they're really good. Looking at the whole test, what I like is that they haven't, decided to make, okay, this is the lifting event, and this is the gymnastics event, and this is the general cardio event. Like, there's a little bit of everything in each workout. Workout 1, you've got barbell, you've got general capacity with the burpees, and then you've got the max lift. And then workout 2, you've got load, weightlifting, with the front squats, gymnastics with the chest bar pull-ups, and then gymnastics again with the wall walks, or displacement, I suppose you would call it as well. And then workout 3, again, general cardio, row, box jump overs, deadlifts, low, gymnastics, 30 toes to bar. I think that's important when you have only 3 workouts, or 4 technically with the part A, part B, is that they need to be quite broad. You can't have too much of a specialist event in there that it's going to skew the leaderboard massively, for the person that's really good at gymnastics or the person that's really good at lifting. So yeah, I like the big picture test there. Right, moving on. Enough about NZ Champs. Actually, let's just do details so you know how to sign up. Event details. It starts tomorrow, April 6th. There's a whole week. You get a whole week to, never mind the date here, that's including the teams as well. So there's a week, 6 days for the individuals, April 6th to April 12th. So 3 workouts, I think you're going to get a chance to do a few redos in there maybe. I saw a comment somewhere, I think it was on Instagram or something, that I think they're doing a blind leaderboard, i.e. you can't see the final scores up until the final submission date. So once it's already too late. I like that. You can't game the leaderboard too much. I have a massive pet peeve with those that put their scores in at it's due at 11:59 and they put it in at 11:50. Just like, it's not that deep, man. Just put your scores in. So this negates that, right? So you can get them up early, and it doesn't matter. No one's looking at your scores or anything like that. So that's cool. I'd love to see more comps do that. Right. From there, next comp that we have coming up. We have Discipline Games. They've got a range of comps coming up. The first one being Discipline Games Kids. I think it's just called Kids. Kids, it might have another name. Let's have a little look. They're not on Competition Corner, so I'm just going to go to their Instagram. Let's have a little look here. Here we go. Final spots teens. So they're doing teens as well. I did see, this will show me here. This event here is run by Massey CrossFit. Now, I just want to take a little tangent here and check these guys out, because I think it's really awesome what they're doing. So this is an affiliate that is based out of Massey High School in Auckland. It's run by this fella right here, Luke and Grace. Now let's see, here's the crew. Here we go. Look at that. It's based out of a high school. They run classes before and after school for teenagers. I don't know if they accept like general public and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's mostly based for the teenagers and stuff. And I think it's really cool, right? Because these are going to be your up and comers, right? These are ones that are going to lead the way in the next 10 years, and they're the ones that are going to get the passing of the torch, right, to continue on the sport, to continue on affiliates and all that kind of stuff. So this is something really, really important, and the reason I want to highlight it is because it's a hard job. That is a very small niche, is teenagers interested in doing hard things. I know, because I was a teenager that got into CrossFit, and it was difficult to encourage your mates to come along, because they were already doing other sports and all that kind of stuff, which is great. But it is a small niche, and even harder to make a business out of it. So, I mean, I don't know what happens on the business side of things here, or if the school covers it, or what happens there. But it's a cool project, and let's have a look through here. This is the one I saw before. Right, so we got a Glenora Golden Bear, so it's a sports team of some sort. And look at this, they're all playing around with worms. You've got teamwork going on here, which is just awesome to see. Yeah, bloody hell, he's growing faster than what I would. Yeah, man, this is a cool way to get kids and teens involved in our sport, right? Is making it team orientated for this. And then look at this, they've gone to nationals. Congrats to our 3 teens. Jamie second, Leonidas second, Akira first in their divisions. Awesome. NZ champs, this fellow here, who's this? Leonidas, Akira, Stacy, Miss H, all taking podium spots in their teens division there. Look at this, nationals here. I think this will be NZ champs, nationals. Weightlifting, we've got them on the Ollie stage. Discipline Games events here. They're involved, man. They're doing... Oh, my... Okay, now we're at Taurian. Okay, now you've caught my eye big time. Look at this, we've taken a team to Taurian. This is cool stuff, man. This is spreading the awareness of our sport, doing it the right way. Because, look, these guys move well. That's the other thing, This isn't bums on seats. This isn't just... Here we go, we got jumping pull-ups. This is the foundations. Look, we even row well. Beautiful. I'm doing full toes bars, learning rope climbs. This is awesome to see, man. But yeah, so this where they train out of, Massey CrossFit, is at Massey High School, which is where the Discipline Kids comp is being held, Discipline Individuals being held, and Discipline Games teams for this year. Now, I'm sure this is where we went for it. We did this at Withstand 2 years ago now. I thought it was a really cool location because they've got, here we go, here it is. They've got this massive field, and then they've got like a hockey turf as well, and then inside is, the gym and all that kind of stuff. So you've got multiple floors that can be used, right? So I think that makes it really interesting from a programmer standpoint. And speaking of programmer, Luke, who runs this Massey CrossFit and high school and stuff, is doing the programming for Discman Games Individuals. So let's go back to these fellas and let's have a look at what we've got coming through. Event 2 up there, Event 1. Individuals, pressure cooker. Score equals max single dumbbell devil's press in 2 minutes. Must complete 12 snatches, 12 box jumps, and then max devil's press. And then it's like a ladder, right? So you've got to buy in to complete. You go 2 minutes on. Any time off? No, it can't be because it's only 7 minutes. Bloody hell, no rest. 12 snatches, 12 box jump overs, box jumps, max devil's press, and then I assume you've got that 2 minute cap, and then you go back to power cleans, box jump overs, 2 minute cap, max devil's press, and then 3 minutes to do 12 thrusters, 12 burpee over box, max devil's press. RX 60 and 40 for all your barbell movements, devil press. Jeez, 30 and 22.5. I can't see total devil press. If that is one dumbbell or two, I would say it's one. I'd be surprised if it was two. Yeah, no, it doesn't say. Here we go. There's a comment here. The devil's press, is this alternating devil's press? No reply. What do I think of this workout? I think you're always going to have a challenge when the workouts have to be 7 minutes long, which is the thing. It's the D7 games, right? And you are going to have very niche events, right? Like there's not going to be any endurance. It's not what they're testing. So you're looking at very high power output, lactate threshold output, and yeah, a lot of these short, sharp workouts. What do I think about this workout? This is going to be very much about pacing and strategy on the first 2 minutes, right? Because you have that extra minute at the end to collect more devil's press, right? So you're better off to not sandbag, right, but go out the gate a little bit less hot to have energy at the end to keep working for that last minute. Because let's say in this 2 minutes you got 12 snatches, 12 box jumps, 12 snatches. Say you go unbroken at 60 kilos, which is going to be hard. Let's say 2.5 seconds per rep. So you're looking at 24, like in the 32, 34 second range. Box jumps are going to take you, 2 seconds a rep as well, 24. So you've got a minute there, and then plus transitions, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have like under a minute on those devil's press, right? And that's going at a hard pace. And then you get no rest. And then going to power cleans, box jump overs, you're going to get probably another minute again, maybe less because of the build-up in fatigue. So let's say in those first 2 rounds, you get all up 90 seconds of work on the devil's press. So you're telling me then, at the end, you're going to have another minute, right? So you're almost going to double the amount of work, right, at the end. So it's definitely going to be important that you have something in the tank. Low battery, it's good to know. You're going to need something in the tank to be able to push at the end, right? Workout 2, I saw that somewhere. Load and launch. So this is going to be like the lifting event, right? 7-minute AMRAP, 40-meter farmers carry with 2 dumbbells, 30 double unders, 6 barbell push press, 6 toes to bar. Straight into part B, no rest, 7 minutes to build complex power clean. I'll get to that soon. Hang, full, clean, push, jerk, or split jerk. I assume it doesn't have to be both. Right, let's get this first one here. Farmers carry, like a bit of displacement in a workout, or like a competition workout. Usually events are very limited by the amount of floor space they have, so it's great that this comp has allowed for some displacement in the comp, whether it be, you can use a lunge carry or a, handstand walk, something like that. So we've got some farmers carry, which is cool. Double unders, love a double under. Really hope it's not with those fat ropes. They suck. my opinion. 6 barbell push press, 6 toes to bar. My thoughts on this, obviously I like the farmer's carry going into the double unders. Actually we did the same like couplet on a compete workout I did last week for my gym for Taurus, and I like that movement combo. It's like very subtly grip focused. Like you would think your grip would recover on the double unders, but you'd be surprised. And then the barbell push press and the toes to bar. I think personally, I think it needs to be one or the other, and make it a triplet, because you just had in the previous workout you had a lot of barbell there. I don't think you need to go barbell again. However, like I said in the NZ Champs workouts, it's nice to have a warm-up, so to speak, if you're going into a max lift, right? So you're going push press into, a clean orientated with the shoulder to overhead lifting event. So I think those toes to bars are going to be a non-factor. Obviously, I understand the grip factor there. There's a lot of grip to play there. But they're kind of just going to be in the way, and it's going to be whoever transitions the speed to transitions better there. Yeah, I would say either just make it the toes to bar or just make it the push press, just so that you've got like quite a high cycle speed going through those rounds, and you are testing those movements well, rather than, like I said, that comp ADHD. You test lots of things, you end up testing nothing. Especially with a 7-minute AMRAP. I think it'd be a great workout. Like I can only imagine the carnage after this workout. But yeah, food for thought there. Now this one. Oh, I have a gripe with programming a power clean as a max lift, or part of a max lift in a comp. I did Evo 2s recently, and we had the same thing. It was a power clean into a full squat clean into push jerk, then a split jerk. And my issue is not with the fact of a power clean or going heavy on a power clean. Like we do that at Taurus. We have test your 1 RM power clean, whatever it may be. However, that is under a coach's eye. So if I see someone who starts to throw caution to the wind, and they're doing, like a starfish catch, they're catching really, really wide and their knees are caving in just to get the rep, then I'm going to tell them to stop. All right, I'm like, you are done there. Like you're at the point of technical failure. Whereas this is a comp. Like an athlete is not going to listen to someone, or not that anyone would say, when they start catching wide just to get the rep, right? Obviously, it is negated a little bit because you've got 2 movements afterwards, which will bring the overall load down. But yeah, I just always think of doing, in a competition scenario, if doing a 1 RM power clean, people are going to throw caution to the wind just to get the weight up there, and that's how you see injuries happen. ACL, whatever it may be, someone who's done their ACL, it happens, and it's not great. And then you go into the hang, full, clean, push, jerk, or split jerk to go overhead. Yeah, like it's a cool complex. The only change I would do there is changing the power clean to just a normal clean. And if someone chooses to power clean and throw caution to the wind, that's on them, right? Like they had the opportunity to catch it in a squat, but when you're forcing them to do a power clean, you are going to force them into compromising positions. Think of, like rebounding on a box jump, same issue, right? Yeah, those are the first 2 workouts that we've come out for the Discipline Games individual. It looks like team is very similar. You got the same movements, but obviously with some synchro in there, and then the lift as well. So, a sync complex. Okay. That's interesting. All 4 athletes. That is hard to judge. Where's the, I suppose, synchro at the top? Man, that would really suck for that one person who was out of sync, and everyone else hits the lift and it's no rep because someone, dropped the bar too early. Oh, that would suck. That person would be shamed for the rest of the day. I'd be intrigued to see how that goes. Event one teams, their breakpoint, yeah, same, just with some synchro reps there. Nice, cool. So those competitions, dates, the kids comp, which I assume you'll see some of those teens athletes, April 11th, which is the weekend coming up. April 18th for individual discipline games, and then the following day is teams. Next competition we have coming up is Panther Fours coming up. That's the same weekend as discipline games kids, the April 11th, so next weekend. This is one I saw on Competition Corner as well. Oh, guns bell. Nearly there. There we go. And Topor, not far away from me. Panther Fours, I would assume that it's going to be teams of 4, mixed 4s with a twist. Traditionally, mixed 4 teams, 2 males, 2 females, however, increased up to 2. Allowing female-only teams to be welcome. All teams will complete the part. Wait. Interesting. Okay. Registration is closed. Unlucky if you wanted to do this. We'll just quickly go over the workouts. Don't think, just go. Send. Worm squats, worm, shoulder overhead, synchro, burpees over the worm, and then worm clean jerks must be touch and go. Too bad if you drop it at the 9th one. And then while this work is being completed, the 4th athlete will be on the assault bike, accumulating max calories. Yeah, so it's like a double score, right? You got full time and then plus the calories. Cool. Don't think just go. No reps. I can guarantee you there'll be no reps. DT, good old DT. Athletes 1 and 2 will do this one with some sync toter bars. DT. I assume 1 round of DT 5 times, not 25 rounds of DT. So it'd be like 5 rounds of DT. Yeah, right. And then sync toter bars 3. Yeah. And then same again, but bar muscle ups. And it's a lighter DT as well. Yeah, so DT is 12.96. Lighter DT 50 and 35 instead of the normal 70 and 50, I believe it is. Like there's some that a local comp is jamming some high rep bar muscle ups. That's cool. It's not what you think. So is it not this? Athlete 1. Oh, I like this. You know what this is giving the vibe of? This is giving the vibe of that. What was it called? Going Dark or whatever. The games event. And it was like Isabel with shuttles or with a run. That was such an awesome workout to see. So I'd say that this is where they've got inspiration for that. 200 meter run, 12 snatches, 200 meter run, tag the athlete. They do it like reverse. So it's like 12 snatches, run, 12 snatches at 60 kilos. That would be really, really cool to watch. It's not what you think though. So there's going to be a catch. And then lift off. Now this is not what I thought. Lift off, I always think it's going to be like 1 arm snatch or something, right? 10 rep max deadlift, 8 rep max front squat, 6 rep max hang clean, 6 rep max hang snatch. Each athlete will have Oh, okay, so each athlete does one of them. Okay, I was going to say, that sucks for one person. That would be a hell of a lot of volume. That's cool. It's very different, straightforward to the point. It doesn't have to be complex all the time. Front squat, hang clean, hang snatch. Awesome. When is this? Saturday, April 11th. If you're in Topor, go have a geeze. Have a watch. Or have a look out for some, where is it? Summit Fitness in Topor. It's an honour. It's a tribute to Muns. So yeah, it's obviously a comp for a great cause as well. So if you're in the Topor region, go have a look. Might inspire you to do some comps. Oh yes, I really want to get in this one before I get to my Taurus Trios announcement, all that kind of stuff. The Mightiest. I want to see some awesome workouts. Have a look at this. The Mightiest is Lower Hut at Tribal Phoenix. Awesome name for a gym. Workouts. I think they've only got 2 here, so actually I'm going to go to their Instagram because they've got them all on their Mightiest competition. Right, this one, look at this. So the idea of this comp is it's like strongman stuff tied in with like some CrossFit, right? Gymnastics and all that. 3 rounds, 24 and 20 cal bike erg into 12 monster dumbbell and then 6 freestanding handstand push-ups. How badass is that? So it's like this is your monster dumbbell, right? And like I think they like load plates in there, like increment plates to make it heavier and whatnot. And then freestanding handstand push-ups. I love that a local comp's got the gall to put in some freestanding handstand push-ups. That would be such a cool workout to watch. And again, like it's a nice broad test of everything. Enough calories on the machine for it to matter. And then that monster dumbbells that's just awesome. How cool that a gym has enough of that piece of equipment to run a comp with it. And then 6 freestanding handstand push-ups. Love it. Enough said. Deadlift ladder. Oh, how good. So it's like it's a speed ladder, right? 90 seconds, 5 bars. 90 seconds, 5 bars. There are more than 5 bars. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. So I'd say it's like 2 rounds. You do that first one and then you do the second one. Oh, this is cool. I love this because like it's a good unconventional strength test. Like the person with the highest deadlift is still going to win because they're just going to be faster and it's just a lower percentage of their 1 rep max, right? But it's just an interesting way to do it. You don't see a lot of comps doing a heavy deadlift, A, because of the amount of plates that are needed, and B, because generally you get to a stage where the bumper plates are too big. Like we have that case for our gym, like our 25s are like this thick, so the most we can get on a bar is like 220, and then we have to start using bands. So I would say they've probably got some like thinner plates, or they've got metal plates. So that's cool. Remember, this is not like a CrossFit comp or a fitness comp. It's like a specialist comp, right? Wood chopper. 60 seconds on, 30-second rest, buy in 12 toe to bar, and then lift the log for the load. Score is max load shifted. So like tonnage, right? If you've ever done like a tonnage workout, the weight is up to you. Love it. That is just such an awesome workout. Straightforward, to the point, do some toe to bars, lift some tin. How good. Strong Linda. Linda is such a cool workout. The last time I saw it done in competition was at Torian, and they used the dumbbells. It's just a great test of like strength endurance, right? So here they're using a farmer's deadlift, so it'll be like farmers carry bars if you've ever used those. Bench, everyone loves some bench, and then sandbag cleans. What's that? Like 70 kilos. Bench at 90. 70 kilos per hand for the deadlift. That's rough, man. That's heavy. I wonder what's the time? 22 minutes. Whew. Can you imagine the state of your nervous system after this comp? It's going to be like you've got a hangover. And then Friday Night Lights, max distance yoke carry, 60-second rest, max bar muscle ups. I love everything about this comp. I want to do it. When is it? It is April 24th. Oh, it's Anzac weekend. Obviously 24th being the Friday and then 25th being Anzac Day. Obviously I get it because you've got the public holiday so people can travel and stuff. Let's see what we can do there, because we at Taurus we're pretty hard on Anzac Day. Like we do a few tribute workouts. We got a lot of soldiers and officers that go here. But this is a cool comp. Shout out to these guys for I'm always gonna root for someone who does an individual comp because they're hard to run financially. and it's hard to just get people to do them. People prefer teams because they can hide, they can be with their mates. Individual comps require a lot more buy-in from the community, and financially it's just harder because there's less people, like less spectators. Even if it's already free for spectators, obviously you lose that money, and then compared to teams of 4, you're getting a quarter of the income there, right? So I would say this is a massive labor of love from Tribal Phoenix that are running this comp. So awesome to see, man. Love it. Right, those are all our comps that are coming up until May. May and beyond, Masters, NZ, their qualifier, the Gauntlet, which is 6'4", now Whenua fit. They'll take on a high rock / CrossFit event. Double Trouble, DT, Double Trouble out of Te Arawa. Evo 3s, which is the next comp in the series of the Evolution event series. So Evo 2s just happened last weekend. I did that. Evo 3s coming up, and then I think there's an Evo 4s as well, which will be later on in the year. Masters HQ semi-final, and then Team Nats, obviously. I'll do more about that the closer they come, because I don't think there's any workouts out except for the Gauntlet for those events. But the ones coming up, the Discipline Games series, NZ Champs qualifier, go do that. Individual comps are hard to run, man, and if people don't do them, then they don't exist. So gym owners, get your athletes in there. Taurus people, if I want you to do it, you'll be doing it. From there, you've got the Panther 4s, the mightiest, and that's it. Awesome. Trios. If you've waited this long to hear about trios, this is everything that you need to know. When is it? Rego opens May 1st. The comp takes place on the 20th of June. It is same-sex teams of 3, 2 divisions, RX and scaled. Gilly and I don't really like fluffing around with intermediate, all that kind of stuff. It's easier to just split it down the middle and have some good division guidelines, which are already out on our Instagram. Let's bring that up, Profile. Division guidelines. Shout out Carl Hill. Looking good, bruv. RX, there you go. This is all taken from the Nationals website. So if you've done Nationals, it's nothing different. This is the RX division guidelines for Nationals, and then the Scale division guidelines. Note, these guidelines are not necessarily hints or clues into the final workouts. However, I will give you some of that soon. Rather a broad guide to help you navigate your division selection. There will be movements that are not specified in the guidelines, just as there may not be movements that have been outlined. The guidelines serve as a minimum barrier to entry, i.e. meeting the requirements ensures you will be able to participate in the division. If in doubt, reach out. Cash prizes are up for grabs. So if you want to be that fellow that's actually elite, but you're in scaled and it shows on the day, I'm going to be having words with you. And you might be bumped into the other division. So if in doubt, go the higher division. Right. Workout ideas. Now, I've been playing around with this idea for an event. It's full time, 50 burpee box jump overs, 2-person synchro, 30 ring muscle ups, I'll get there, and then 50 burpee box jump overs, again, 2-person synchro. The ring muscle ups, this is for RX, would be just one person has to complete. So, i.e., you do not need to be able to do ring muscle ups to be able to do RX for Taurus Trios. You do, however, need at least one person that can do some ring muscle ups, right? The guidelines are there to allow you to participate. It doesn't mean that if you can do all those things, you're a shoo-in to win, right? It's still about whoever is the fittest and can do ring muscle ups should be rewarded for that, right? So in terms of the team that I would expect to win, they're going to send it on the burpee box jump overs, and they're going to go sets of 10 on the ring muscle ups, right? One person flying after the other, and then the burpee box jump overs. The idea I do have is, now this was a culmination of 2 events, one being Nationals and the other one being Lift HQ's Tandem. Darren down in Timaru ran that, and they had they built these like these barriers, and it reminded me of the log barrier we had at Nationals 2 years ago. And like, could you achieve the same thing with the box? Yes. Could you have the same experience and achieve the same memories? No. I remember that workout from Nationals because it was just so powerful going out onto the floor, the field, and just seeing this massive line of two barriers, right? And up until we did the event, like we were like, oh, what are we doing with those? Like, what's it going to be? Are we going to be throwing the worm over it? Like what's it going to be for? And then we found out it was, burpee climb over. So will those burpee box jump overs be burpee box jump overs? I don't know. Might make some barriers like they did for Lift HQ's tandem event. I thought that was really cool. Again, you could have done boxes, but to create the experience for the athletes, they decided, hey, let's put the time in and build something really, really cool. So kudos to them doing that. That gave me inspiration for this workout here. The other thing I want to get into is for this workout. Keep in mind, this is not necessarily going to be the workout. This is just on my mind. Is for scaled. What is scaled going to do instead of ring muscle ups? Glad you asked. 2 weeks ago, in classes here at Taurus, we played around with a jumping ring muscle up. Now, everyone knows a jumping bar muscle up. You get a box out, you stand under the bar, and you use your legs to jump up and over the box, and you extend at the top, right? Until that week, I had never thought to do the exact same thing, but with rings. And the cool thing is that with our rig that we have here, is we could set up our low rings, i.e. what we would use for ring dips and ring rows, to a height that you could do a jumping ring muscle up without hitting your head on the top. So my thoughts, is this going to happen? Not necessarily, but it could, is that the 30 ring muscle ups for scaled be 30 jumping ring muscle ups, because then the barrier to entry for scaled is just one person needs to be able to do a strict ring dip, right? Which is a good scale for a ring muscle up, right? So only one person would have to do a strict ring dip, i.e. they jump up through the rings into a ring support position and then press themselves out, right? And if there's only one person going to do a ring dip, is it going to be a bit rough for them? Yeah, but you can participate, right? And it's going to be a memory. And if worst case scenario, you finish that event and you're a little bit down on yourself because you couldn't do it, or you had to have only one person do it, I guarantee you for the next 2 to 3 months after that, you're going to do some work on your strict ring dips and your ring muscle ups, right? So I think it's always good to have an event at a competition that causes change, right? Whether it be led by frustration or anger, that's fine. The other idea that I was floating around with Gilly, and especially in this lead up to Anzac Day, is putting a hero workout in for trios. It makes me think of Judgment Day in 2018. We did Murph. It was a pairs Murph. We had the vests and everything, and it was chest bars instead of pull-ups. That is probably one of my strongest memories at a CrossFit competition. Like, everyone's done Murph in their gym before, and you do it and it sucks and it's a little bit boring, but in a competition scenario, it was very different, especially in like a pairs scenario as well. And I remember us all standing there with our vests. The other teams, there was like Kev Manuel, Jack Facer, Luke Fiso was there, I think with Dave Wiggin. And yeah, it's just a real memorable event. Are we going to do Murph for trios? No. Sorry to lead you on there, but I would do like the idea of doing a hero workout. There's about 200 we could choose from on the main site. So if you want to go looking through those and start jamming some hero workouts, or what you could do is keep track with Taurus's Instagram page, because we do a hero workout every Friday leading up to Anzac Day. So that wouldn't be a bad shout, because if we do a hero workout, it will be one that we have done in class. I'm all for setting up my members for success. Right, so that's everything for trios. If you have any other questions, I'm not saying I'm going to answer them the way that you want me to answer them, but if you have questions, try your luck. Leave a comment below or message me, message the Instagram page or anything like that. Or when I put another one of those posts up, chuck them in there and I'll answer them through this video the next time I do a video, which will probably be next week if I feel up to it. I was going to go through the programming overview for Taurus, but this has been a hell of a long video, so I'm going to leave that for a different video, and we might just make it a two-part series. There's the event dates and details of competitions around the country, going through the program and all that kind of stuff, and then one for the overview for my members and all that kind of stuff. And if you would like to watch that, you can do. It'll be public access, but it will be about stuff we do in classes and stuff we post on Instagram. But yeah, until the next video, catch you later. Ciao.